Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Right now through November 17th, only a couple of weeks left. Get up to $1,500 back in rebates off G3 Suncatcher pontoons. Man, those are fantastic for family and friends. And through November 19th, get cash savings and up to a 6-year warranty on Yamaha outboard motors. There is no better place to buy a boat or an outboard motor. Madisonville Marine. No better guys to talk college basketball, specifically UT basketball, than the guys I have right here. Isaiah Victor, VFL, is back with us, and right there, former Vol staff member Mark Pancratz. Thanks to both of you guys for being here today. First time we've ever talked about a number 6 Tennessee team, because this is the first time they've ever been ranked that high to start a season. That is the preseason prediction. I want to get your take on whether or not that's fair. And before we go to that, let me show you how previous AP polls have ended showing number 6 teams, if we have that. Okay, here are what number 6 teams have done the last 5 years. 28-4 was Gonzaga, 26-6 North Carolina, 24-6, 28-3, 26-3. The average record to finish 6th, that's final polls, to finish 6th, 26-4. That is a pretty good record, guys. When you consider Tennessee comes back with just about everything, I get it. When you consider everybody's gunning for them, they have a tough schedule, tougher than last year even. That may be a bit much. My question, is that a fair expectation for Tennessee this year, top 6?
I think it is, yeah. Like you said, we got everybody coming back, and I really believe we should have went a little further last year. And we definitely have the coach that's going to make this team more mature. They're going to get better, and they're not going to let them. He's not going to let them rest on their laurels. So, yeah, I like the prediction.
If not for injuries last year, specifically an injury to Kyle Alexander, you probably do go further in the tournament, which is another thing that we have to factor in moving forward. I'm a little scared of this prediction. I'm not like you, but to me, I look at it. Last year, you went through remarkably healthy until the very end of the year. Grant Williams slowed down a little bit with the back at the end of the year, but you were pretty healthy. I don't know that you can count on being that healthy for an entire season again, but Mark Pancratz, former coach, do you look at these high predictions the same way that Isaiah does?
I think it's a little high, and for a couple of reasons. One, the league is a ton better, the SEC in general. 2, Jordan Bone. I mean, after that, who's your backup point guard? And you mentioned some injuries. And you look at the schedule of who they play. You play at Memphis. You're going to play, in Louisville, and you're going to possibly play Kansas. The back end of the season, when you're playing Kentucky, at LSU, Mississippi State, I mean, the schedule is loaded. I think it's a little bit high for them to finish top 6 in the country.
Well, then, what is a proper expectation? What's a fair expectation for this Tennessee basketball team?
I think if you're inside the top 15, and at the end of the day, it's about being. It's a tournament sport, and so do they make a Final Four run? It's about expectations. They easily could be like a Virginia. Virginia had a great regular season, but they don't have incredibly talented guys. Their best thing about them is their culture. So they could go in and lose an early round in the NCAA tournament team.
Final Four! Final Four! Final Four, man!
Now, what's the story? I hadn't looked at the monitor. Sterling said he was going to do that, and he got down and crouched for that whole segment. And I just looked at the monitor and realized we could see the top of your head there the entire time. So you hurt your knees for nothing. But Final Four, all right. Let's talk about that in terms of number 6 and winning the SEC again and all that stuff. It's a tournament sport. Isn't that really what we're looking at? If you finish 26-4, for example, and then lose early, and it's a bad season. People are going to look at it. If you have a season where you lose some games and people go, well, number 6 team wouldn't do that, but you have a deep tournament run, cancels that out, does it not?
Yes, sir. And that's the reason why the SEC season, yeah, it's going to be tough, and we may not win the SEC again. That's that's a different question. But I think we'll be prepared for the tournament, and we're a defensive team still. Everybody knows that, and if you can shut people down, you can win some games.
All right. Thoughts on the tournament thing?
Well, I just think you don't really necessarily remember the SEC champions. You'll remember 20 years from now who went to the Elite Eight or who went to the Final Four more than the SEC champs.
All right, when we come back, I'm going to ask Isaiah about going, because you played on some hunted teams. When you were here at Tennessee under Jerry Green 4 good years, the difference in being the hunter and the hunted. And then I'm going to talk to Mark Pancratz a little bit. Should you expect any kind of changes? With everybody back, should you expect any changes at all? Playing time, rotation, offensive, defensive styles? We'll discuss that. Come on back on the Sports Source.